Right, all of you. So in yesterday's class, I discussed some scenarios like how Power BI required SQL Server queries related scenarios, how they are really important for us. Those points I discussed very clearly in the last session. And at the ending of the class, yesterday's class, I mentioned some points there, like data types concept. And so what are the different data types there? How we are going to work with them? Those points also we discussed very clearly. So now I'm going to start with some scenarios. Those scenarios are like, you take SQL Server in the same Power BI. Basically, SQL Server is database and it is used to store different types of data. But remember, even in Power BI also, we are going to store data. We have that clarity because we already discussed about these scenarios, right? So even in Power BI environment, we store data in the form of tables only. So table means we have clarity, like what table contains, tell me. Column names, structure. In the same data will be there. Data means in the form of rows, right? And so you are anyhow you go to like Power BI or SQL, whatever it, data storage purpose, right? What is the purpose? Data storage only, no doubt. And so data types concept is really important for us. If you want to store any type of data, so you need so data types concept. So what are the data types available in SQL? That and all we are going to discuss, because almost same data types will be there in Power BI also. So this concept is not only for SQL, it is also related to what? Power BI. So data types. So before going to start working with data types, I want to give you some clarity also. Number family, character family, date time family, currency. So like this different types of data, different scenarios we are going to store in SQL environment, in the same Power BI environment also. So how we are going to do this task? Coming to number family, integer data type. So integer means it is perfect number. It will not accept any decimal value. Suppose I'm giving 6. This is integer. Because there is no decimal value. Basically, what is the purpose of integer? Integer does not allow decimal value. Suppose I'm giving 6.1. This is decimal value. So decimal values cannot be stored in integer data type. Integer means what? It is perfect number. It will not accept any decimal values. Next, we have float data type. Float means it accepts decimal values. Right? Andy? Float data type, it accepts decimal values. So that is the difference between integer data type and float. And we have some other data type also for the same purpose. Numeric data type, numeric of p comma s. So here numeric is data type, p comma s is length of the data type. Right. So now p stands for precision, s stands for scale. That's fine. But what is precision? What is scale? What is precision and what is scale? That is important. Right? Andy? So let's go for some example. I'm giving numeric of 5 comma 2. So 5 is precision, 2 is scale. Right? Andy? So precision indicates total digits in the number. Total number of digits in the number. Scale indicates number of digits after decimal point. So I'll give you a simple scenario. For example, this is decimal point. Right? Andy? What is scale value? 2. Andy. What is the value of scale? 2. That means you can go for 2 digits after decimal point. So precision is 5, scale is 2. So out of 5, 2 we have given after decimal. You can go for 3 before decimal. So only this part is comes under scale and the whole part is comes under precision. Right? And this is what the scenario. So is it clear? Numeric data type clear? Or any questions? See, I already mentioned this topic is not only related to SQL, it is related to Power BI also. Okay, na? Any questions related to this numeric data type? Because even in Power BI also, we are going to store data, right? And that is the reason. So next data type is character, string. Of course, we also call it as text data type. To store data in text data type, text data, we have different data types again. So what are those data types? Let us see now. Now, char of length. Char is the data type. Within bracket, we are going to provide length and. So this is known as, I'm sorry, fixed length character data. Okay. What it is? Fixed length character data. So it accepts alphanumeric data. Alphanumeric means what? Mixing of characters and numbers. And for example, I'm doing like this: A1, 2, 3. What type of data is it? We feel like it is only number data or only character. No, it is alphanumeric. Mixing of character and number. Right? And so next, it provides performance. Performance means what? Speed. Accessing speed of the database. In the same way, max size can be stored in this data type is 8,000 bytes. And means 8,000 characters. 8,000 bytes means what? 8,000 characters. But only problem with this data type is memory wastage. So how memory wastage occurs? I'll give you a simple scenario. For example, we are working with some table and a table contains ename column. What is the column name? Ename. For ename column, I given data type as char of 10 and that means maximum of 10 characters. Maximum of 10 characters. Can be inserted. Wait. Yeah, yeah. Special character also. No. Characters, special characters, digits also. Okay, no? Right. So coming to next scenario. Ename column. I'm inserting my name. Suppose Suresh. How many characters there? 6. So max size we are given 10. But we are inserting only 6 characters. So it has to occupy only 6 byte space in the database. But what happens, it occupies 6 bytes for the data, whatever we inserted. Remaining 4 bytes, it will go for blank padding. So blank padding means what happens, null value. Null value is going to store. That is the problem. That means unnecessarily you are losing space there. For 4 bytes of the space we are losing, right? But still, why this data type is there means like performance purpose. In the same way, we are going to work with some fixed length columns. Every time same data is going to store like true, false, false. This type of data is going to store every time. For that, we are going to use this char of length. So coming to next scenario, we have some other data type also, that is var char of length. So variable length character data. Variable length character data. Of course, it also accepts alphanumeric data in the same max size 8000 bytes. But no memory wastage. What is the difference between char and varchar? No memory wastage. That's why maximum, character data storage purpose, maximum we are going to work with varchar only. Varchar data type only we are going to work out. I mean, you use. Because no memory wastage. In the same way, whatever you are going to insert, it occupies space for that only, right? That is what the scenario. So even we have varchar max data type, variable length character data maximum size, and right, and variable length character data maximum size. What is the meaning of that? No memory wastage. Max means 2 GB space, and what is the max size can be used here? 2 GB. So no space wastage. So these are the data types we have to store character data. Number, character data types we discussed. Next, we are going to work with date time data, because we are going to store date values, time values in our databases, right? So what are the data types we have in SQL? Of course, in Power BI also, to store number data, to store date time data, or only date, only time. These are all really important for us. So small date time up to 2070 9th year, right? And up to 2070 9th year, that is the max limit. So coming to next scenario, we have next data type, that is date time, and in this you can store up to 9999th year. Please check the limitations here. Okay, na? But see, coming to real-time environment, maximum we are going to work with date time only, because date time you can go up to 9999th year. But coming to small date time, we can store up to 2079th year only, right? And so coming to next scenario, now only date we can use date data type, only time we can use time data type also. I mean, you can store only date values and only time values also. Hmm. This is what the scenario. So date time, I mean small date time in the same date time. Date time or small date time. You can store up to, I mean, you can store date values and time values also. But sometimes what happens, we are going to store only date values, only time values. Then what? Right, Andy? We want to store only date, only time, then what to do? Why I'm discussing these points, what is the default date format of SQL, 4 wise DD space hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds. This is the default date format, Andy.
Hello.
Tell me, please.
Is it EMI or EMM?
MI, minutes.
Okay, okay. Thanks.
So, suppose I'm using date time, small date time or date time. Right, Andy? Got my point, all of you? But I want to store only date. Only date means what? This value. Right, Andy? Only time. Only time means what? This value. That's why we have separate data types. Otherwise, what we can use only a small date time or only date time. Why we need to go for separate date, separate time? So these are common questions and common doubts, right? So because of that reason only, I'm discussing much on that area. For example, you have given date data type. You take today only. You have given date time data type, but you're inserting only date. You're not inserting time value. What happens? It takes like this: 2022, right? 12th month, right? What is the date today? 21st. Hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds. See this value. What is this value? Time value. What we are doing here, just we declared some column only. For that column, we are given date time data type. Date time. But while inserting data, while inserting data, we're giving only date value. We're not giving time value. So zeros are inserted. So this type of scenarios will be there. To avoid these problems, what we are doing, if you want to insert only date, yes, go for date. If you want to insert time, okay, only for time. Separate data types where we have. They provided separate data types. Okay, na? So coming to next scenario. Let's go to money data type. Used to store currency values with the symbol. Suppose $10. 10 is number, dollar symbol is what? Currency symbol, special character. Here the scenario is generally people ask me, so to store currency values, we have different number family data types, right? And why you are going for separate data type, money data type? Because you cannot store characters and special characters in number family. That is the thing. Not only storage, currency values means after data storage, we go for some calculations. Yesterday, we discussed some points related to tax, data analysis expressions. Most important part of the Power BI development. There I clearly mentioned some points. Of course, I have given some example also. For example, sales amount is the column we have. So this is monthly sales amount. I want to go for annual sales amount, yearly sales amount. What to do? Then we can use sales amount into 12 multiplication. So multiplication means you are doing some calculation here, right? And so just column name I'm giving. Suppose the value existing in the column is suppose $2,000 per month. You are going to do like this into 12. Got my point. Yearly, annual purpose. We do this step. Not only this, we are going to work with other calculations also. Right, Andy? So here, if it is money data type, you can use that currency symbol. If it is number family, integer, float, numeric, any data type from number family, can you use that symbol, currency symbol? No, you cannot use that currency symbol. The reason is number family. Number family does not support any characters and special characters. So these are the issues we face. Because of that reason only, Microsoft provided separate data type. Separate data type for what? Currency values, number values. So that is money data type, right? In the same way, a Boolean values will be there, Boolean, true or false kind of. So that means every time into that column, either true or false, this is the value is going to store. So Boolean data types. In the same way, we have binary data types also. Generally, binary data purpose is basically it is used to store photos, audios, videos, images, related information. For that type of data, we are going to use this binary. Right? So even we have spatial data types also to store data, geography, geometry. So this type of data, geospatial data. Right? And geospatial means Google Maps. That type of, right? And even we have these data types also, because see why we are discussing data types in the beginning only means what is your task? You go to database or data warehouse. What is your task? Maximum time you're going to deal with the databases only, right? And am I right or not? You're going to work with the databases. What database contains data, information, information regarding different scenarios. If there is no information, if there is no data, there is no database, there is no data warehouse. Still, some people get some doubts. Yes, this is Power BI training. Why is talking about databases, data warehouse? Reason is Power BI is data warehouse tool. Last session we discussed. What type of tool? Power BI data analysis and report creation tool. Yeah. Okay. When you are going to work with the data warehouse tool means actually geography and geometry there on the screen. The same thing is there, right? Right, and I did not type anything. Just I'm discussing these points. Okay, let's remove this from here. Okay, fine. So you are going to work with the data related operations, and for example, you take Power BI, copy data, transform data, DAX data. After finishing these operations only, you're going to work with visualization. Copy data, transform data, DAX data. These operations completely related to databases. Data storage related only. So if you are not doing these operations, how can you work with visualization? Because after finishing these operations, you are going to shape your data. You are going to get the required shape for your data. That means by using these operations, you can bring data into your required format. You can bring data into your required format. Your required means client requirement. And how we are going to work with project based on client requirement only. So as per the requirement, we are doing these operations. Got my point? So that is the reason why I'm discussing about data related scenarios now. For example, you got some character data. Simple example I'll give you. You have some character data existing in our Power BI environment. For example, ABC. This is character text data. Can you do any calculations with this data? Any calculations can you perform? Regular calculations. Plus, minus, multiplication, division. No, you cannot. Suppose you have number family 1, 2, 3. Can you do any text operations on this? Text means character data related operations. No. So a lot of scenarios there. Even you go for database development or you go for data warehouse, whatever it. Base is important. Storage is important. So base means what? How data is going to store? Tables. Tables format, very clear. What table contains columns, rows. So while creating table, you are going to provide columns, then you are going to insert data in the form of rows. But those columns, you have to assign some data types only. That's what the scenario we are discussing today. We discuss it today. Got my point? I'll give you simple scenario. Of course, this is I'm going to discuss next session. Suppose I want to create some table as per the syntax. Suppose product ID integer. That means what is the meaning of that? Products is the table name. Started bracket. Inside bracket, we are going to declare columns. PID, product ID integer. Means what? Only integer data can be stored in that column. Suppose product name varchar of 20. What is the meaning of that? So in product name column, you can store character data only. So maximum of 20 characters. Maximum size I defined that. Suppose you have some order date time, close. So order date column, you can store only date time data. What type of data can be stored here? Only date time data. So that is the importance. And in the beginning only, when you're creating table only, you are going to define everything. What is required for us? What type of data we are going to store? These are very important areas, very important scenarios, right? So that is data types concept. So remaining things we'll discuss in the next session, right? And now tell me please if you have any questions related to this training. Any questions, please?
Sir, I have one question.
Okay, tell me please.
Sir, in place of money data type, we can use varchar.
How can you go for calculations? Character data, we cannot use calculations purpose, right?
Yes.
Right? Now I'll send it. Now I'll send it. Okay, now. Any questions, please? Anybody? Ran L. It's showing Ran L. Srikandir.
Can you please tell me in very short and simple? Binary is used to store photos only. Photos and hello.
Yeah, audios, videos, images, photos, that type of data.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
See, why I given varchar of 20 means maximum 20 characters be inserted into that column. Limitation. So we'll get requirement, right? Based on requirement only, we are going to assign max size. Okay. No? That's what I said. See, when you are working with char, varchar, it accepts alphanumeric data. Alphanumeric means what? Characters, special characters, and numbers also. But everything should be there in the form of character. Okay. Right, Andy. Any questions? Rishi Tota, any questions? Sundaramurthy, any questions?
Hello.
Okay, Srigam.
I need scale. Scale. Can you please tell me about scale?
Scale. PNS, precision and scale.
Yeah, yeah. Precision is I got it. About scale.
See, scale means number of characters after decimal point.
Okay.
Number of characters after decimal point. Okay, Nani?
Okay.
Okay then. Right, all of you. See you tomorrow.